Hey guys, welcome back to Overtakes. I'm Kel.
I'm Misfit.
And we are here for our Season 1 recap. We're going to kind of go over some of the things we got right, some of the things we got wrong. We got a lot more things wrong than we did right, but hey, whatever.
We hit a couple though.
We hit on the important things.
Yes. We had the overall picture. We were pretty close to being spot on.
So let's start off with some of the things we did right. First off, I think we both kind of had a good feeling about Boston.
Yes.
They had a slow start. I don't think either of us expected them to do as well as they did and get as close as they did to the playoff, but I think we both were pretty spot on about how we felt that team would play.
Yeah, I think the one thing that we both saw in them, just even from one preseason match, and a couple people were like, well, they're going to be crap because nobody knows about them, and these are the guys that watched a lot of the stuff that we didn't really get into, like Apex and things like that.
We didn't watch a whole lot of Apex or
I
World Cup, or like I watched a little bit of I watched a little bit of the World Cup. You watched a little bit of Contenders. That's about it.
And what I gathered from it, for me, it was from, and I think it was both of us on the sports level.
Yeah.
Of coachability.
Yes.
And their coaching staff, and they have a pretty decent coaching staff. Like 2 or 3 people. I think they have like 3 people, and broken down like a football team.
Right.
Where you have, like an OC and an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator and a head guy.
Yeah.
Just so, your tasks are separated into different things, and I don't know exactly what their breakdown was, but it worked. And their players were coachable.
Yes.
I mean,
well, they were young. They hadn't had a lot of experience together, but they were young and they were able to be malleable to what the coaches wanted them to do. So they were really able to excel at what they wanted to do. And that's exactly what they did. And my God, this team they're ridiculous.
Yeah, and
I love watching them.
I think some of the players like Dreamcasper and Striker had unknown skill caps. Guys are like, these guys are good.
Right.
And same thing with Gamsu.
Yes.
Because Gamsu was on a bad team in Apex. I did go back and look at some stuff. He was on a bad team in Apex. So, I mean, a good player in a bad team, it's really hard to see in something like this.
Right.
But I think Dreamcasper and Striker were coachable, and no one really knew their skill cap was that high.
Right.
To put them, when you're talking top players in the league.
I don't know how they didn't know that, because, man, all you have to do is watch, 2 minutes of Dreamcasper, and you realize just how fucking good that dude is. And same with Striker. I mean, his
Tracer is one of the best in the league right now.
So good. Right
now, barring, honestly, anyone else coming in or anything different, I'm not talking about that. Right now, I would put him in the top 3, the way he played in Stage 1.
I would put him right up there with Sabiobi and Effect.
Yeah. Or Birdring.
You could probably put Birdring.
He's in a class with those guys.
Yeah,
How's that?
Definitely, for sure.
Or the whole San Francisco Shock team. Or now the whole Dallas. All right, I'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it when we do the preview. I'll stop.
So, one of the other things we got right was we figured that London was going to be really good.
I mean, that was
a surprise.
That was like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah. But what happens when you take 2 of the best teams and put them on one team?
Yeah,
you get a really, really good team.
Yeah, and not only that, they had a couple of wonky spots there towards the end of the stage, but I think everybody kind of did at that point, looking back on it. But they got through that, and if you can't call them the best team or one of the best teams in the league right now after that 14-match day of just going out and killing it the whole day.
And that's not to say that they didn't have their flaws, because they absolutely did.
Yes.
They were 7-3 for a reason. Those losses were bad. They had some really, really rough matches. Just maps in general at times where they just look really discombobulated. There were certain maps that they played horribly on. Oasis.
King of the Hill in general.
But they came out just all guns blazing, and Birdring and Prophet both, and that just overall their whole team was really good.
And I think now they're finding out who to put in for specialization, which is scary.
Yeah.
Because when you start putting Hurang and you start putting Wuhal in these certain situations, from this conglomeration of these 2 great rosters, and you start getting these guys in, putting them in their specialty because they're great on a player, not just great in general, which they are anyway, but you're putting them in these
but
specialized
when they're,
roles.
Exceptional at one player or one character,
and at their level, it just makes them scary. So we definitely got London. We didn't think they were gonna win the stage per se, but we had them as one of the. I think we had them top 2.
Yeah, at least top 3. So the other team we got right was the Gladiators. We kind of said they were going to be middle of the pack. What do you know?
Yeah.
They're about middle of the pack.
Middle of the pack, lower middle of the pack. And it's inconsistency at this point. It was something you could see in the preseason. To me, it was just as much teamwork as they had, there were times when they didn't.
Right.
And a lot of it was certain players and like, all right, Remix playing Winston. We'll just go there. It was a little off, and I feel bad because the dude's a good dude.
We tend to pick on him a little more, but he's kind of like, he is the poster boy for what is
him and Fraggy
for like the issues of that team.
Him and Fraggy, the Winston,
because when he is good and he's on,
he is unstoppable.
That team is hard to beat.
Right, but like when they played the Valiant, he was incredible in that match.
That was probably his best game, and man, they were unbeatable in that game.
They looked really good.
They looked excellent, and when he's playing at that level, that team is scary.
Yeah.
But then you get the other games where he'll jump in and
it's just
slaughter instantly, and then it's like they have to waste a res, then they have to regroup or something, and it just completely throws them off when he's not on.
Exactly, and going on the inconsistency thing, the only player on that team really in the first stage that wasn't inconsistent was Shaz. Because their DPS were up and down. You know, one game Surefour's great, and one game Hydration's great. There was just never this where both of those guys are good.
It was only
consistent too.
One time, like 1 or 2 times, where like both of those guys really played well, or like both of their DPS
were just really well. And one of them was Valiant.
Yeah,
they came to play in that one.
Yeah.
But overall, we got that one right. Especially in that division too, because we had that division as being one of the
definitely harder
than the East, which it's debatable right now.
Yeah, it really is.
At this point, because there was a lot of unknowns going. You know, when you go into this, you know, the whole season. So that's our other right.
And then basically just what else we got was just kind of the feeling of the overall league and the popularity and how we felt that it would be perceived.
Yeah.
Because I mean, man, this has gotten way more positive coverage than I ever expected, and just in general, way more people are watching than I ever thought would.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think, you know, I knew the initial first couple days you're gonna get you're gonna get the big numbers, but you know, game in, match out, when you're on Twitch, there was 100,000 most of the time, even when the crappy teams were playing, or games that didn't matter. I mean, they were topping out at 100. There was a couple of times like going on when I was making videos and stuff. You know, people are watching. There's 20,000 people watching replays.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And then and
then if you're also factoring in all the different YouTube channels that are posting the replays, the people that are streaming off of those, like you're probably they're reaching a good 200,000 people every match at least.
Yeah, at least. And then all you have to do is look at the sponsors that all of a sudden, you know, I think people are backed off, and then all of a sudden you have T-Mobile, Toyota. I mean, Sour Patch Kids, but that's kind of fun. I eat them a lot, so I want some tokens.
Yeah.
I need more skins. Mayhem, you hearing? I need some more skins. Anyway, so and that's what we got right.
Yeah.
Now onto the part that you really don't like to talk about.
But we'll
you know
We'll admit it.
We're man enough to admit this. What we got wrong.
Biggest one we got wrong, not even close. Dead, complete opposite of what they did was Dallas. Oh man, they were.
Where do you? I don't even know how to start with this. On paper, they looked unbeatable, or mostly unbeatable. They looked
like they could be top tier team for sure. But going into it, especially after how they looked in the preseason, and then just looking at their roster, seeing all the guys that they have a lot.
Yeah,
they have a lot of talent,
and they have a lot of talent, but it's not cohesive right now. And there's a lot of things. You got players getting suspended, and then you got to put in guys that aren't as good on certain characters in, and you have people flaming. You have people, losing their minds and not wanting to play for a couple of matches.
And then just in general,
sloppy play.
Very sloppy play. There were so many times when they were staggering in and they just didn't look cohesive, and that was the major killer for that team. I think even more so than the drama and all of that crap. Was
and the
just
communication
team cohesion. And communication for sure.
And anytime during the match when they do the communication, their comms sounded like, I don't even know what they sounded like. It was just like people fucking screaming at each other. Effect screaming, please take out Cool Man, please.
Right.
That was like the best. I was like, wow, quick play.
Yeah, basically.
Did someone do something about the diva?
Nope. No, they didn't.
I'm gonna go switch to Torm. Fuck you. Torm, fuck you.
Right. I'm surprised we didn't see more of that. But
Dallas would be the team that would be doing the throwing. You could have got a Symmetra sighting from them.
At this, Taimu just switches to fucking Tor.
Dives off the cliff the rest of the match. Fuck you guys, I'm going home.
Or Siegel's just like, fuck all you guys, and just he does the Symmetra portal off a cliff.
Off the cliff.
Yeah. I could totally see that.
Yeah. But they had problems. That team, for as much promise as they had in the beginning of the season, they're just a hot mess now.
Yeah.
And we'll get into more on them later when we do our Stage 2 preview stuff.
Yeah.
Because they have some news. As usual, they got news.
Basically what that team needs is what the Cavs just did last week.
Yep, exactly.
They had too much talent and it didn't work together, and they just need to shed some, maybe bring in one or two others. That's what really needs to change for that team. They more so than any other team.
Yeah, and it's not saying anything about the players and their talent level. It's saying as a group together. They just didn't mesh. It's not saying Taimu's bad or Effect's bad or Siegel or
any of these guys.
It happens a lot in regular sports. Mm-hmm. You get these teams where you build this powerhouse of all these players, and you think it's going to work, and it just falls apart.
Right. We're not at the point yet where we've got teams building around players like they do in
except for maybe Shanghai.
Yeah. Yeah.
Building around Undead is a smart thing to do.
But and they should. But at this point, they're too heavy for him to carry at this point.
Yeah.
Way too heavy. But yeah, that. I think that's something we'll see more down the line. But at this point, that's desperately what Dallas needs to do. But let's move on to the other team we got wrong was the NYXL. We said they'd probably be middle of the pack. Oh boy, were we wrong. What did I say? They are top tier.
I believe I said something to the effect of, just because you're an all-Korean roster, you're not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I put my foot in my mouth about 5 minutes after that. Fuck. Yeah. Good Lord.
So New York proved us wrong in that they are probably, other than London, obviously,
they're the top two.
They are 1 and 2 for a reason.
And the rest of the it's kind of looking like the NBA right now. London and New York are, the Warriors and the Cavs. The rest of the teams, who knows what's going to happen?
Right. Well, then you got
your next tier.
You got the Seoul would basically be like the Rockets. If they can stay healthy, they might be a contender.
Yeah.
But
Houston's the Celtics.
Yeah.
they do all the work during the regular season. They get to the playoffs and they're shot by the time the championship games come around.
Or no,
it's not knocking Houston.
I would say Seoul is more like the Spurs. They could
they could win every year. They could
win every year, but just for whatever reason, something goes wrong and they don't.
Or they come up against a team like Golden State.
Yeah, exactly.
Or they decide to sit everybody in Game 7 of the playoffs. Something like that.
Right.
I'm sorry, I've been trashing Seoul for a week for that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a closet Seoul fan. I don't know.
Or just being like, hey, let's put Tony Parker at the center position.
Ginobili can play, anywhere, right?
Tim, you're gonna run the point.
Yeah. We're gonna call up Robinson. We're gonna have him play fucking shooting guard.
Right, and that kind of that kind of puts us into the other team we got wrong with Seoul.
With Seoul, which
we did say that they were going to be a top 2 team. We thought them and London were going to be the teams that kind of really dominated everything. And Seoul, they looked really strong to start, and then those last 2 weeks they just fell apart, and it was just
weird. It was just weird stuff.
Super weird, yeah.
And it wasn't. I mean, some of it was gameplay. I think some of it has to do with the meta.
And then I think it was overcoaching for the sake of... It was just coaching for the sake of coaching and being like, hey, we can do this because we can.
Yeah, it was just
not really.
Outthinking yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Well, they think we're going to do this, so we're going to do this because they think we're doing that.
Right.
And then, you know what, since they think we're going to do this, we're going to do this other thing and really, really, really throw them off. Oh, or let's just go with the Super Bowl a couple years ago. Seattle Seahawks on the goal line with the best running back in the league. Let's throw it.
Yeah. Exactly. That's pretty much what Seoul did in general.
And the reason why we put him on we got him wrong list is because I thought they would lose maybe 1, maybe 2 matches.
I thought they would. Yeah, I thought they would lose maybe 1 game, and it would be a game where they sat
where they played London,
something like that. Or I
thought they would maybe lose to London
like that. Yeah.
But yeah, they have some work to do. Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily... I don't think it's necessarily on the gameplay. Maybe a little bit. Their DPS are a little not as high level as everybody else around them. But it's the like we were saying, the overcoaching.
Yeah.
You sometimes you just gotta play.
Yeah. Just let the
game come to you.
And play your best people in their best positions.
Yeah.
Their best characters, or however you want to word it. Just put your best people in the best spot that they can be to succeed. And it's just basic. I mean, it's basic business. It's basic sports. Everything.
Don't overthink.
Exactly. And it's exactly what they did, and it's what was their downfall this stage.
I mean, they still only lost 3 games.
Exactly.
But it was kind of more how they lost them.
Yes.
And why they lost them, not necessarily that they were a bad team. We're not saying that they were horrible and we picked them to be great like Dallas. It's more of what the hell went on to get them to fall back to where they were. Right. About week 3, everyone was saying, can anyone beat Seoul?
Right.
I mean, if you guys remember.
And we found out with a resounding yes.
Yeah.
Especially if they don't have Jae-Hong in the lineup.
Oh, yeah.
Or Jae-Hong playing
Mercy.
Or, if they have Jae-Hong playing Mercy.
For the whole match.
Playing the game at all.
Against the best team in the league.
Right.
Anyway, that's
something you do when you're playing Shanghai.
Yeah. Well, they tried that when they played Shanghai and they lost the fucking map.
Yeah, they did. But yeah, then...
That's when you sit Jae-Hong.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's another thing we got wrong, and then the last thing we got wrong was kind of the playoffs, and this is kind of more... We didn't really understand how the whole playoff system worked.
We were kind of lost on it.
Yeah.
So, because we were thinking it was divisionally at first.
Yeah.
And, because we're regular sports fans, so it makes sense to us that, Pacific, Atlantic, 2 teams, and then a wild card. But it was just top 3 in general, so which gets to a weird point of I don't know exactly what the divisions mean.
It kind of worked anyway because it was New York. Well, actually, no, it was New York, London, and Houston. They all came from the same fucking thing. So never mind.
Because on Saturday on stream we both had New York taking it all.
Yeah.
That was another point we got wrong, but
I mean, at that point I was like, how can New York already beat them today?
Yeah. And how could they lose?
They're that good, and it's especially after those first 2 games, they really looked like they were going to, and then London was just like, nah.
Now that
hold my beer.
Yeah.
You think you're gonna win this?
They kept going. I don't know what
they grounded out, and they brought it.
They brought it, and their game endurance in general, keeping your head on for that long is just crazy.
I played 3 or 4 placement matches before I came, and after that I was about done, and that's like 1 game to them. Yeah. They played 3 of those.
Yeah, and I played 2 quick matches and I got triggered about midway through the first one. Let's on a payload escort or on Route 66. Let's play all in mobile heroes. And so I pick fucking Tracer and just get fucking wrecked. Anyway, done. Done with the day for that. Let's play Orisa, Torbjorn, and fucking Mercy.
On attack.
No, it was on defense. But still, there's no mobility.
Right.
And they had Genji. They had a Widowmaker just fucking killing everybody. Anyway, enough with that. So
that was our Stage 1 recap. Join us on the next one. We're going to be doing a Stage 2 preview. So catch us on that one. Give us a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you guys then.
We'll see you later.